What if all water on Earth disappeared overnight? Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and discovering that every ocean, every river, every lake, and every drop of water on Earth has vanished. No Atlantic Ocean, no Pacific Ocean, no drinking water, nothing. At first, it would seem impossible, but within minutes, the consequences would become terrifyingly real. This is what would happen if all water on Earth disappeared overnight. Water covers more than 70% of our planet. Without it, Earth would look completely different from space. The beautiful blue planet we know today would instantly become a dry, brown world covered with enormous scars where oceans once existed. The deepest parts of the oceans would suddenly be exposed. Massive underwater mountain ranges, trenches, and volcanoes, hidden for millions of years, would become visible. But the real disaster would only be beginning. Within the first few hours, marine life would face immediate extinction. Fish, whales, dolphins, sharks, and countless other species would die almost instantly. The oceans contain the largest ecosystem on Earth. Without water, that ecosystem would collapse in a matter of hours. The smell of billions of dead sea creatures would spread across the planet. Entire food chains would disappear overnight, and humanity would soon feel the impact. Next, the global climate would begin to change. Oceans act as Earth's natural temperature regulator. They absorb heat during the day and release it slowly over time. Without oceans, temperatures would become extreme. Days would become much hotter. Nights would become much colder. Weather patterns would completely collapse. Rain would stop. Storm systems would disappear. The water cycle itself would cease to exist. For the first time in human history, Earth would become a world without rain. Within days, agriculture would begin to fail. Crops require water to survive. Without irrigation and rainfall, farmland around the world would start dying. Fields of wheat, rice, corn, and vegetables would turn brown. Farm animals would begin dying from dehydration. Food shortages would rapidly spread across continents. Supermarkets would empty. Governments would declare emergencies, and panic buying would become widespread. Meanwhile, cities would face another deadly problem. Drinking water supplies would disappear almost immediately. Most cities only store a limited amount of emergency water. Millions of people would desperately search for any remaining source of hydration, but there would be none. Hospitals would become overwhelmed. Public services would collapse. Civil unrest would grow. In many places, survival would become the only priority. The global economy would also collapse. Factories need water. Power plants need water. Transportation systems rely on water in countless ways. Many industries would shut down completely. Financial markets would crash. International trade would slow to a halt. The world economy would enter the greatest crisis in human history. But perhaps the most frightening consequence would be the loss of oxygen. Many people don't realize that a huge percentage of Earth's oxygen comes from microscopic organisms living in the oceans. Without water, these organisms would die. Over time, oxygen levels in the atmosphere would begin to decline. Humanity would face a second survival crisis. Even if people somehow found water to drink, the air itself could eventually become harder to breathe. Weeks later, Earth would become almost unrecognizable. Dry ocean floors would stretch across the planet. Massive cracks would cover the land. Dust storms would sweep across entire continents. The once blue Earth would resemble a lifeless desert world. Many species would already be extinct. Human civilization would be struggling to survive. Could humanity adapt? Perhaps. Advanced technology might help some communities survive for a time. Underground facilities could recycle water. Scientists might develop emergency solutions. But supporting billions of people without Earth's natural water supply would be nearly impossible. The reality is simple. Without water, civilization as we know it would collapse. Water is so common that most of us rarely think about it, yet every living thing on Earth depends on it. Every plant, every animal, every human being. It's the invisible foundation of life itself, and if it disappeared, the world would never be the same again. So here's the question. If all water on Earth vanished tomorrow, how long do you think humanity could survive? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe to Unknown Reality for more mind-bending scenarios.